Is that better? Is there sound now? All right. Let me know if there's sound. My computer restarted last night, and whenever that happens, a bunch of bad stuff happens for my OBS settings and things like that. So hopefully you can hear me. But we're gonna play Star-Lord next. I've got two that I want to try. The first one is a Star-Lord Nebula deck, which runs Jeff, and I'm sure a lot of people don't have Jeff and don't want to see a deck surrounding Jeff. So we'll play that for a little bit. Then we've also got a Guardians of the Galaxy deck, which does run Groot and Drax instead of Jeff and Professor X. Right? Jeff and Professor X. All right. Spider-Man, Storm. Interesting. Let's see if I can find this deck build here. Star-Lord, Nebula. What do we got? Oh, let's see. Drax, Groot. Oh, let's look at this deck right here. Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's see. Armor, Storm, Groot, Polaris, Enchantress, Jax. I think you could substitute right. So we got this deck right here. I think you could, if you have Jeff, put in armor. And then this deck here runs Storm, Spider-Man, Professor X, and Jeff. So both are pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of garbage, right? I mean, this Star-Lord Nebula. All right, whatever, right? All right, let's record an intro. All right, a lot of people are talking about this Star-Lord mission, which is kind of annoying overall. Yeah. All right, a lot of people are talking about this win with Star-Lord starting in your deck. Kind of annoying if you didn't have a plan to play Star-Lord. So I've got two deck options that I'm going to try out today and show you some footage of that. And maybe we'll have some fun with Star-Lord. I don't really know how important Star-Lord... Well, actually, let's start this video over. Let's see here. Snap fam. Live at 5, it's off review. I know, right? All right, a lot of people have been complaining and not thrilled with this mission right here. Win with Star-Lord starting in your deck. I don't know, man. I wasn't really thrilled about it, but I kind of wanted to try a full Guardians deck and then a proper Star-Lord deck. So I've got two decks that I'm going to play today. Is Star-Lord kind of a garbage card? I don't know if he's a garbage card. He just doesn't seem overall that impactful for what he does. Star-Lord right here. Yeah, the stats are okay on him. I guess he's not super terrible. Maybe my opinion will be changed throughout the course of this. But we've got a couple decks that we're going to play. This one right here is a full Guardians of the Galaxy deck. I believe this was popularized by Binks. But this is novel for sure because it runs Drax and Groot and Rocket and Gamora and Doom. And I think this is going to be interesting for today's location where you can only play cards there on turn 5, which is going to create another problem there with Milano. The other deck that we're going to play is probably more my style right here, and it runs Jeff, Storm, Spider-Man, Professor X, and that synergizes well with Daredevil. Now, the thing that's kind of missing from this deck, and I wish this deck had, was Doom. But Doom does not necessarily synergize well with Professor X. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, let's get into some gameplay. And I'm going to try the full Guardians deck first. And then I will play this deck here. Also, on this full Guardians deck, I think if you had Jeff, you could take out Armor and put in Jeff, and that might be better for you. All right, let's go do some footage. Let's go and play it. We're going to play the Guardians of the Galaxy deck first. Let's go. Dad, but not the real one. All right, so we can put Gamora there, right? What's up, Chi-Town? Howard the Duck. Interesting. All right, no play there with Star-Lord. Patriot. All right, well, we've got Enchantress to take care of that. We got Enchantress to take care of that Viper. Thanks. We're going to snap there. We're going to snap there. Yeah. We're going to snap here. All right, we'll put Groot there. And we're going to snap there, right? Thanks for the Patriot. Iron Lad, what do they got? All right, well, on the last turn, we can 1000% Enchantress that. You know what I mean? All right, so we got Daredevil pipe on off. What do they got there? What is this? Iron Man? All right, so what they're gonna... I'm trying to... So they're gonna play... They're gonna play what? They're gonna play... They're gonna play... what's his face? Ultron? But that's not gonna work for them, right? Because if I Enchantress this right here, right? Then that's just not gonna work, right? Yeah, that's not gonna work if they get Enchantress, right? Yeah. I mean, it kind of messes up my claw strategy, right? Actually, I'm really confused on what they're doing here. What was their actual plan? I'm so confused. Are you confused, chat? What was their actual plan? I'm so confused. I'm actually confused. I'm going, I have no idea what that was. All right, do I want to upgrade Star-Lord, or I think I'm going to upload Gamora first. What do we got? Guardians of the Galaxy. $300. I'll do both. And then we're gonna, let's see, let's upgrade Star-Lord. Yeah, this seems to be okay so far. Let's just try it. Guardians of the Galaxy. All right, let's go. Unfortunately, that was not good footage for like. Yeah, the one with Professor X is probably better, but it runs what's its face? Jeff. Jeff is so good, by the way. No, that's not good. Should I blow that up? Nah, I don't care. Yeah, I think the one with Professor X is probably better. All right, we're going to blow up his Zabu. Yeah, I'm finally playing full Guardians. I had some resistance to this deck. But it seems to be working fine with this Milano location, right? I mean, it feels okay so far. All right, so we get 12 there. Gamora is not trash. Darkhawk, 16. Yikes. So they win if they have Rock Slide, right? Or Korg, right? Wait a minute. I have Ironheart. Ironheart might steal that. Yeah, that might steal it. Let's try that. So what? I've got, let's see, Ironheart. All right, there we go. Wow, we lost. All right. Mystique got us. Punisher got us. Wow, wow, wow. That was a good match. Yeah, we got just wiped by Mystique, right? Yeah, but losing to yeah. All right, what do we want to do? Double power with Shuri? Let's see if they play something there. No. Bast. All right, well. Ooh, Luke's bar. So we're going to get something there with Doom, right? So is this a snappable situation is the question. I mean, we're going to be able to yank something out with Polaris, which I don't know is good either, right? Actually, pulling something out seems like a good idea. If I could do that, the problem is I can't do it. I wish I need to play Polaris on the last turn and I need to play Doom on the last turn. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what is better here. Codebreaker. Angela Falcon. Oh, wait a minute. So I can screw them over with Storm and Polaris. Hmm. Hmm. Moon Girl. Bast. Oh, man. I don't know if this is going to be enough, though, right? That. I don't know. I don't feel like this is going to work. I think they're. Yeah, I think I screwed up. I think I should have. I think they're going to clog this lane. I'm not going to be able to pull anything over, so it doesn't really matter. Wow. Wait a minute. So I am going to win. I am going to win Mojo World, though. What happened? Moon Girl? Oh, wow. Nothing about that last mood makes any sense to me at all. Nothing about that last move makes any sense to me at all. How did he know that I was going to play Storm to the right? I mean, I guess he could have known that, but still, but like to not care about Mojo World, that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't feel like that was very logical. That was sus. All right, Nebula and Star-Lord. All right, so I win this location, I think. Ooh, we're going to play Doom. Quay, okay. Nick Fury. I don't know if Arnold's still playing this game. Yeah, Shanna is not that interesting to me. Howard the Duck is. There's actually a deck that I want to play Howard the Duck. And actually, I don't think Wave is... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how if Wave is... what do I want to do here? Is I mean, it's an adjustment, but I think Wave is still probably pretty good. Howard the Duck is not showing up in your store? That doesn't make sense. It should be right in the middle of those three things. You should have a... yeah, it should be right in the middle. What's gonna give me the most bang for my buck? That's gonna pull over Nebula, which is not good, right? Yeah, that's bad, actually. All right. Well, okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's pretty fun. See, after Galactus Thanos, I got Jeff. You have, I'm guessing that you have Darkhawk already, right? Nebula over there seems good. Kitty, all right. Kitty counters Nebula pretty well, right? At least one bad Series 4 card. I mean, this is good with Groot, right? We know they're going to play Kitty there. So Groot's going to pop up, and then Star-Lord's going to pop up. I don't think I'm going to be able to beat Kitty, though. You got Darkhawk? I mean, I guess if there's no deck that you want to build and play, then I wouldn't save your currency. Why spend it? If you have nothing to play, nothing that you want or nothing to build, then there's no reason to. Black Widow, Collector, Kitty. Well, Kitty's getting bounced back. So we're gonna play Doom. And might as well put that there also. And that's that. The way the game is going so far, how long do you think they'll last if they don't address player concerns? I have such a strange opinion on that. Yeah, I don't think this game's going anywhere at all, ever. Is the short answer. All right, what do we want to do here? I wish they would play... Oh, wait a minute. This is kind of tricky, right? Wow, we got a problem here. Oh, I should have Enchantress, right? Maybe. Wow, is this going to be amazing right here? That's a lot of power, right? No, they got Darkhawk. Space Throne. Wow, so they win. So if I would have Enchantress right there, that would have been so much better, right? Hmm. And Doom doesn't do anything in Space Throne, right? All right, so my experience with video games is probably different than most. And so the question was player concerns, card acquisition. So first things first, we have to stipulate a big, an issue, if you will. That doesn't work, right? Doom doesn't fly into there at all, does he? Does Doom fly into Space Throne? It doesn't, right? Oh, I did that wrong. Shit. Yeah, I did that wrong. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, I did that wrong. And then because I did it wrong, I'm stupid. I would have won that if I would have played it right. Yeah, I played it wrong. All right, so firstly, understand this. Most gacha games, and I don't know if Marvel Snap is considered a gacha game yet or not, because it definitely has some elements that make it not so much. In some ways, Marvel Snap has a cosmetic approach rather than a gacha monetization schedule. It feels like it's a hybrid, and they're trying to not only get money from people on from cosmetics, which in reality is, there's very few games that have been successful with cosmetics. What I mean is that there's a handful of games that have been wildly successful from cosmetics, and then most other games have not been able to duplicate that going forward. That being said, heavy spenders, Krakens in gacha games fund this top spender, this top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% spenders finances 90% of the game. And so for how long a game is going to last is going to depend on those spenders. So what I'm going to suggest to you is something you may not want to hear. Free-to-play players getting annoyed with the card acquisition system versus Kraken spenders getting bored. Which problem is a bigger threat to the longevity of this game? I don't think we win this. Is Thanos still worth it? I actually have to say that Thanos is not worth it. You tie that location. Yeah, this deck just doesn't have enough power output, I think, to keep up with some of these Kitty Pryde type decks. All right. Well, can't they address the free-to-play players and the Kraken problems at the same time? Okay, so this is not what you want to hear also. The problem for Krakens is that it's okay. First of all, I'm in a very different situation than most people playing this game. I've been playing this game for almost 1 year. In fact, in 2 weeks, it'll be 1 year that I've been playing this game. And so people, you need to understand where I'm coming from, and I'm gonna tell you that someone over there at Second Dinner understands this problem. And so this is going to be a case study on me in my situation. I've been playing the game for 1 year. For the last several months, the only thing I have been buying is the Battle Pass. The only money that they've been able to pry out of my hands is a $10 Battle Pass. I am missing 3 cards. I have every card in the game. I have more than enough collector tokens to buy every card that I do not have. They know that someone like me has historically spent a lot more money on other mobile games. I have spent $26,000 on Marvel Strike Force, and all with the current monetization card acquisition system, all they're going to get out of me is $10 a month. The system becomes different once you've played the game for a year. So all these people that are complaining about the card acquisition system have not played the game as long as me. When they have, they will be in a similar position as me, and there will be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, millions of players that are looking at the game's card acquisition system and will scratch their heads and say, why should I give them more than $10 a month? Someone over there at Second Dinner knows this. And the game is going to get more restrictive, harder to get cards, less player friendly. Card acquisition is going to get worse. I'm calling it now. The biggest mistake a mobile game can make is allowing their hyper fans, their biggest spenders, to get bored and have nothing to spend money on and have nothing to play, nothing to chase, nothing to go after. They have failed if their biggest fans are bored. And it's preventable. And I believe the things that they need to implement to prevent that from happening are going to be in direct conflict with free-to-play people, and they're going to be outraged. They're absolutely going to be outraged when these new systems start going into place. I'm telling you, changes are coming, and they're not going to be player-friendly. I can feel it. It's going to change, yeah. I don't think people are going to like the changes, is what I'm saying. Whether we yearly battle pass for every battle pass every month. Okay, what? How much? Okay, let me frame this into a different question. So these collection complete people, you know, that have been playing the game for a year, you know, that don't care about cosmetics. How much money have they really spent on this game? What's the most you can spend on this game? But player infringement have been happening, correct? They're going to continue, is what I'm saying. This is going to be a trend. This is going to be a thing. All right, we're going to do that. Why would they do that? Oh, let's restrict their play a little bit. Yeah, it is the Annihilation one right there that we got for free. Huh, I wonder if I should do this. So I'm going to get 2 more power here. So I have to leave Jeff there, right? Yeah, dude, this game is such a weird... Oh, we lost. All right. Why I'm not playing this deck for the location. If I wanted to play a deck for this location, I would be playing probably this deck right here. If I wanted to play for this location today, I would play the Doom, Iron Lad, Jeff deck. This would be very easy to climb with this location. So if you were a new whale coming into this game and you wanted to spend $10,000 on the first month, $10,000 on the first month of playing Marvel Snap, Could you do it? I don't think you could spend $10,000. I bet you could spend. I bet you could spend $300 or $400 tops. $300 or $400 tops would be my guess. I can't tell you the number of people that messaged me or talked to me directly when they were started playing this game. They I just want to buy cards, and I can't buy cards. I can't even, like, if I wanted to buy the card, I can't even buy it. Like, a lot of people said this to me. No, I'm telling you that people talk about card acquisition system not listening to the players, and you guys are not looking at it from a pencil pusher point of view when comparing this to other games. I actually don't care, but people are thinking that some sort of magical changes are going to come into play that are going to make this game more player friendly, and I'm telling you, Newverse wants their money back. Newverse put a lot of money into Marvel Snap, and they want their money back. And if you think changes are coming, they're not going to be in the advantage of the player, is what I'm saying. I think they're going to be going the other direction. Just a prediction. They don't have this type of players. What type of players? The point of the clear sniper advertised in terms of game, that is, they don't want to spend money in this game the way they do for other games. I guess what I'm trying to say is that as someone who has been a victim of predatory games and has a disposition to spend money on games, from a business point of view, Marvel Snap is not giving me any reason to spend money on this game. And I promise you, somebody over there knows that. I am currently spending $10 a month on the Battle Pass. I do not have Howard the Duck. I do not have Shanna. I do not have Stegron. Those are the 3 cards I do not have. That is 3,000. That is 6,000. That is 6,000. That's 12,000 plus 3,000. That's 15,000. I have more than enough tokens to buy that right now. Okay. I'm just telling you, somebody over there knows this. I mean, I come from a different background. I look at everything from a business perspective, from being a financial advisor to someone that spent better part of a year looking into developing a mobile game. I look at things differently. Which is, I feel it has nothing to do with that. People are asking about the question was, are they going to address the card acquisition system? And what I'm saying is yes, they're going to make it worse. That's what I'm saying. They're going to make it worse, if I were to guess. I don't see it getting better. I see it getting worse. Oh, they have a card acquisition system that's in the game now. I don't know what the new one's going to be, but I suspect it's going to be worse. I don't know what to do. I actually do not know what to do. I feel like I'm going to lose this game no matter what. Let's just see how this looks. No, I lost. I know what I'm saying is, I'm sure, unpopular. And I actually don't even agree with it. I think it's just, that's the way I see it going. Mantis. All right. Yeah, Snowguard is pretty horrible, man. I pulled her for free somehow. Yeah, I mean, so I actually, oh, let's see, how do I want to do this? I don't know if that's good. How much money has your son spent on the game is the real question. I don't think I win this. $200 maybe? Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. Is that enough to win? I don't even think this is enough to win. Yeah, if they have Doom, they win, right? Well, yeah, because I'm going to have 14 and they're going to have 5. All right, let's retreat. Yeah, I don't know, man. These decks are kind of rough. I think I'm going to go to the other deck that I know they'll win. It's a lot. That is a huge chunk of money. Huge chunk of money for a 16-year-old. It's a lot of money. I'm going to switch decks. Yeah, this deck is not working for me. Jeff Bolt. No, anybody that spent more than $100 on this game is a very valuable person. To second dinner. That's their core market. See, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. What I'm saying is that I hope not, but these changes that they're making, I think are going to get worse. And I don't mean to be like, I just think that they're going to get worse. I don't think that some of the, like some of the changes that we saw yesterday, I think that they're going to incrementally introduce more and more things like they did yesterday. So what they did yesterday was they decided that they were, instead of moving cards down at a regular schedule, they're going to move them down in price when they stop selling. So cards will go on sale and will get discounted if they're not selling. So cards that are garbage are going to are going to be dropping from 5 to 4 and 4 to 3. The cards that are good are going to stay in those series longer. And they even said that sometimes they're not going to drop any cards at all. They just said, we're not going to drop any cards at all sometimes. And so what do I do? Rockside or Iron Lad? I never know what to do here. See, I wouldn't mind Nebula, Zabu, Doom would be fine. Let's try it. And then they actually did not mention Kang, remember? It almost sounded like they were going to move Kang. Did you get that feeling? Because they mentioned Thanos and Galactus, and they conveniently did not mention Kang in that sentence. I'll have to go back and read it, but I remember going, huh, that's interesting. They didn't mention Kang. Yeah, I have to go back and look at it, but I remember there was this, they specifically did not talk about Kang when they said, they said something, how did they pay for that? All right, that's good. I don't know how they win. Blue Marvel, maybe? Magneto? I still win, though, right? No, I don't. How would I have stopped that? I should have thought about Magneto. How could I have stopped that? Move Jeff over? That would have been the logic of moving Jeff over. Yeah, and I remember them distinctly not talking about Kang. Like, let's say they someday decide they're gonna start moving some of the cards from series, the big bads into series 5 or series 4. And my prediction would be that Kang is the first one. Where is this? I remember going, huh, they didn't mention Kang. Yeah, sometimes this means preserving the series of cards, as in the case with Thanos and Galactus. They specifically didn't mention Kang. I'm just saying. They specifically didn't mention Kang. Like, I remember going ding, 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 ding. Oh. They did not mention that Kang. My guess is that over there at Second Dinner, they're seeing what people are spending their collector tokens on, and they're people are buying Thanos, people are buying Galactus, but they're not buying Kang. All right, so they'll throw High Evolutionary in there, and they'll drop Kang down to Series 4, maybe. I don't know. But it's interesting that they specifically omitted Kang in that sentence. Yeah, well, they may have, they still have the option of creating multiple variants. I mean, so far are there any duplicate characters in this game? Are there any duplicate characters in this game? They've been good about not doing that yet, right? Yeah, none yet, right? Are there let's see, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Miles is Miles and Spider-Man's Peter Parker, right? I mean, that's probably the closest one. I mean, technically Miles is Spider-Man, but it's such a different character. I think people realize that Miles is an entirely different character than Spider-Man, right? I mean, that's the only one that I can think of, right? I wonder if they're going to come out with like 7 versions of Kang, or if that's something they're going to do. Iron Lad worth the 6K? I don't know. I feel like if you said to me, I have every Series 5 card but Jeff and Iron Lad, I would suggest for you to buy Jeff. I can answer the question that way. I like Jeff better than Iron Lad. All right, so they haven't doubled on any cards other than maybe Spider-Man, but which I don't consider that a duplicate. It's because he's so different. My guess is that they will do like I mean, at some point they might have multiple versions of technically Iron Lad is Kang in a different realm, yeah. Should I take Ghost or Shadow King? I haven't found a reasonable use for Ghost or Shadow King. I would not think about those cards. Yeah, Iron Lad's fine. I actually bought Iron Lad. And I didn't buy Howard the Duck. But I'm just saying that I think Jeff, my opinion is that Jeff is better than Iron Lad for the 6,000 tokens. Oh, for a free card? Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't even. I have no opinion on Ghost. I got her yesterday, and I'm not. I haven't. I don't. I feel like I play a lot, and I don't have a recollection of ever losing to Ghost. I've lost to Orca. I'll tell you that. Recently, I've lost to Orca. I don't like that either. I don't like that at all. Because they're going to get a copy of my Polaris and then they can suck my Nebula out. So we're going to pass. Yellow Jacket and MODOK are the same in the MCU. There you go. There you go. I don't. I think there's a bunch of ways that I think Ghost could be useful. I just don't ever. I feel like I play a lot. I don't ever remember losing to Ghost. Is what I'm trying to say. Whatever that means. Jeff. That's kind of nice, right? Turn 5. Is Darkhawk going to be better? No. That's interesting. So are they just abandoning that location? I don't know what I want to do here. 6 power. That's not great. I don't want to pull Angela over. That'd be terrible. Boy, Polaris is backfiring on me today. This is an Iron Lad deck. I think Iron Lad's amazing. I just don't think he's better than Jeff, that's all. Or not. It's not that he's better, he's just, I think Jeff is more flexible. Patriot Iron Lad deck? No. The only other Iron Lad deck that I want to try is basically this deck that I'm playing right here, where they remove Nebula and they put in Howard the Duck, and they remove Enchantress and put in Jubilee. Like, I would like to try that. Howard the Duck instead of Nebula, and Jubilee instead of Enchantress. I very much would like to try that. Well, they won that one. They're going to play Killmonger, right? Oh, dude, not maggot? I've done that before. Holy moly. Wow, we just gave them access to... I don't know if this is good or not. Magic? Okay. I think they're both excellent cards, by the way. I mean, I wouldn't have bought them if I thought they were bad. I bought them because I thought they were good. Enchantress is good. Yeah, Howard the Duck seems good. Also, like I just didn't buy it. I actually am on the more. I'm actually kind of on the fence. I almost like pulled the trigger on Howard the Duck this morning. Well, that seems bad for them. This didn't make sense to me what they just did there. It didn't make sense, did it? Oh, I see. He was counting on Null going through the roof. I see what he did there. So he was trying to win the middle and the left with Null, but Enchantress ruined that. Okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, Howard the Duck with Lockjaw, Jubilee, Iron Lad. Yeah, it seems fine. And because Howard the Duck is a 1-2, it's not that big of a deal. Like a lot of cards are 1-2. As long as they have like some sort of a reasonable effect that helps you win the game, which Howard the Duck does that, right? If Howard the Duck was a 1-1, that may not be, we might not be having the same conversation, right? I'm going to put that there because they're not going to want to play into Vibranium Mines. And if they do, then I don't buy cards unless I know I'm going to play them. And I don't know that I'm going to, I'm very picky on the cards that I buy. Actually, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to YOLO it. We could lose here. They'll have to eventually. Wow, 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 wow. Well, let's do that. Yeah, Jeff will drop eventually, yeah. I think they're going to hold on to important cards for a longer period of time, right? I wonder if he thought that I would go for it or not. All right. Snap you later. Later, dude. Yeah, I actually think Jeff is like I actually had a conversation with myself before the start of the stream. Should I buy Howard the Duck or should I not buy the Howard the Duck? It may be 3 or 4 days before I buy him. But the deck that I want to play with Howard the Duck is basically a version of this deck here without Nebula and without Enchantress, and it includes Jubilee and Howard the Duck. I don't know. I'm very much, my approach to hoarding and spending in this game is similar to that of other games. Like, if spending a resource doesn't further my progression or help my account, then why? You know what I mean? It's just, I don't. I don't, unless it's helping me move forward. I wonder if that messes up his Galactus, right? I suspect this is Galactus. I mean, they can, what, can they Galactus now? No. Hmm. So I'm not really afraid of Galactus, I suppose. I don't know if this is a win, but why not? It's interesting. It's interesting. Actually, okay. This might be a fringe idea. And first of all, I want to say this. Wave got fucked. However, there are a couple decks that didn't care about Wave. Decks that run Zabu, decks that run Stature, decks that run Miles, decks that ran Sarah. Wave is much stronger against those decks now. So when I was playing yesterday, I noticed that there were a couple of this Electro Sandman Wave decks where they're playing Wave on turn 5. They screw over a lot of decks. Like that Kitty Bride deck that I was playing yesterday hates Wave. So I feel like the Wave change did more harm than good. But I think that there is a possible exception to that where Wave may be very powerful now in an Electro Ramp deck. I hope not, because I hate that deck. I hate Electro Ramp. Because Wave actually does what it's supposed to do now. Nobody can play anything more than one card on the last turn, and whoever has the biggest card is going to benefit the most. And so, these Sarah, Kitty Pride decks, or even this deck to a lesser, well, this deck runs Doom, so it's not as bad. They don't like that. Yeah, dude, she's a very different card now, and I don't think she was necessarily obliterated. They definitely fucked that Death Wave and that. It got destroyed. It's absolutely obliterated. Death Wave and Doom Wave they're just deleted from Marvel Snap. Absolutely deleted. But Wave may have a different purpose now. She may function more like Sandman. Yeah. Yeah, it's a change. It's different, and I think it's a net negative. Please understand, I think it's a net negative. But I still think Wave is going to be played in Galactus and Electro Sandman decks, and specifically in those decks, I think it's stronger now. So it made Wave in a Galactus deck better. So, like, let's say Galactus deck doesn't have Galactus, right? And they have Null or they have a big card. Wave now really messes up the other player a lot. What do I want to do here? Yeah, I was mad at the change yesterday. I'm not sure anymore. All right. I'm not super mad at it anymore. Juggernaut, yikes. All right, so I just need to put points out. Is 11 points enough? I don't know. What are they going to do? This is Silver Surfer deck, right? Hmm. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that the wave change absolutely destroyed two important decks, playable, viable decks, but it did make wave stronger in the other two decks. So I don't know if wave is gonna get the leader treatment in the sense that leader got obliterated and then he got brought back. And I think the current version of leader is fine. Like I don't care about that card necessarily. But that leader card is probably going to get played. Leader is probably going to get played inside of that Sandman wave deck, right? I don't think wave is unplayable at all. Not even close. I think wave is still something. What do I want to do here? Yeah, yeah. Wave is still an important card. For what it's worth, wave actually does what she's supposed to do now. Oh man, I screwed them up. Opponent retreated. You see what happened there with Polaris? So Polaris, not trash. Polaris sometimes just does stuff. Like this guy literally retreated because of Polaris. Like, did I know that moving Nova over was gonna? I mean, I thought that it might make a difference, but I think that actually messed him up quite a bit, right? I'm surprised he retreated just because of that, though. Hmm. Oh no, leader's fine. Yeah, leader's fine. Leader actually is. Actually, I think leader is better now with the current version of wave. Yeah, the decks. The only deck that used leader right now is the Electro Sandman deck, right? And I think that with wave turn 5, leader turn 6 is a thing. Like I think it's strong. It's not my. I don't want to play that deck though. It's not my. I just don't want to play that deck. Crystal got nerfed. I don't think. I think Crystal went from unplayable to maybe playable in a Ronin deck. Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how is I don't know if Crystal's playable. Has anybody found a real use for Crystal outside of like Master Mold Ronin? I don't think so, right? That's the only thing I can think of. She went from meme bad just to plain bad, probably. Now, if Crystal was a 4/6, I might feel. Would you feel differently if she was a 4/6? I suspect that's the type of thing that she needs. I don't know. I don't know about Crystal. I can see that, like, what about Galactus decks that just need card draw, right? And they don't care about what your deck is doing. Maybe, what if Crystal makes their way into Galactus decks? What do you think about that? All right, so we got to, what are they going to play? Patriot. That kind of sucks. Oh, I was gonna move Jeff over and play Doom, and then do the math to see if Patriot Mystique wins or not. Yeah, and even I don't know. I don't know about this crystal thing. I don't know. Yeah, but she did go from meme status to maybe bad status. How does that sound? Crystal get you closer to Galactus? Maybe. That's the only thing I was trying to think about. Like, is Crystal actually useful in a Galactus deck? I was actually thinking about that last night. My card moves here. Our Sinister. Jeff would be nice. Oh, let's do it. Sometimes this works. Well, look at that. Then they're all going to get +2 also. I've played Crystal and I never found that to actually happen. Oh my god. We're gonna... See what I did there, right? Yeah, I kept one Jeff off of there. If she was a 2/2, she'd be useful in Galactic decks, but not 4 cost. I agree. I agree. Or maybe even a 3/3, maybe. I don't know. I don't... Listen, the developers were pretty clear about Crystal and card draw. They are terrified of... They're terrified of making a card that is good in every deck because of card draw. Like, they just don't want it. They ignore... We have small deck sizes right now, 12 cards. You're seeing at least 75% of your deck every game, and card draw might be, but you know, they're aware of the risk of card draw being broken, basically. So they have some aversion to making cards with any kind of card draw. They definitely were crystal clear. There you go. Oof. All right, let's do... I don't know what to do here. I guess we'll just do that. Yeah, they're trying to be safe with her for sure. Like, obviously they are... Yeah, Adam Warlock. See, Adam Warlock is interesting for sure. Let's see. No, we don't want to do that. We're gonna do that over here. Need Enchantress if I'm gonna win this, right? And there's so many things we could lose to right now. What, Blue Marvel? Let's play for Blue Marvel, right? Blue Marvel would be an extra 4, so I need to get past... I need to play a 4 there. Is that enough? All right. I don't think people realize how powerful card draws in a game. The best decks in Magic can draw multiple cards a turn and get major advantage. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's I think they're right in being careful with Crystal. I suspect there will be a deck and a way of using Crystal in her current form. I don't know what that is. And the only thing that came to my mind, which we've already talked about, is Galactus. And but I think her cost is too high to be useful there. I want to do something. Unlock Ghost. I heard you card draw is the single most powerful thing in any card game. I know it was in Magic the Gathering, that's for sure. See, this game has a different dynamic though, right? I mean, in Marvel Snap, board space is another consideration. Board space is super important in Marvel Snap. Stature, hey, if you have like that, this build right here is kind of specific for today. Normally I think I play what did I pull out of this deck to put in Doom? I pulled Miles Morales out of this deck to play Doom. If you have all the cards, I would buy Stature now if you have the tokens, if you want to play this deck. I think that I don't have that for either. I need 500. All right. All right, we'll do Ironlad and Miles next. Yeah, let's look at the series. I want to look at the series right now. The series, I think this is interesting. Oh wait, this is old. This is not. This is old. All right. I don't know. I was playing Guardians at the beginning of the stream and Star-Lord, and I got bored, and then I switched to this deck. All right. in these Series 5 cards, we've got Galactus, King, and Thanos. And I think King and those are the permanent Series 5 cards, right? And High Evolutionary is going to be one of those also. My gut feeling is that High Evolutionary is going to be the most impactful of the four in the current meta, and King is the least impactful right now. Galactus and Thanos both have uses and are powerful cards. Right now, I think there are more decks that are competitive with Galactus. The problem with Galactus is it does require a lot of cards to make it work correctly, and it's a very specific build. And if you do purchase Galactus, please understand there's been a lot of conversations about Galactus being nerfed by the developers specifically. Like, anybody that buys Galactus today, absolutely it could get a nerf. They've talked about it at length. And the way that I interpreted their last communication about Galactus is that they are not going to... Let's make a video about this. Actually, I can make a video about this. Let's see. Let's talk about High Evolutionary. Yeah, they absolutely said they wanted to change Galactus, and they haven't figured out how to do it yet. Let's find the quote real quick. You sent it to me the other day, huh? Here it is right here. Yeah, I suspect this means that they're going to look... No, Marvel Snap. This is Marvel Snap is side thing. I actually like this game, whatever that means. I enjoy the game, but no, my main thing is definitely Marvel Strike Force. I like this a lot better than anyways, it doesn't matter. High Evolutionary. All right, so we got Galactus, Thanos. Is anybody playing Thanos with a lot of success right now? I feel like Thanos is a reasonable place, but I don't feel like there's any real reason to play Thanos. Oh, excuse me. Jeff the Baby Landshark, Iron Lad. Kitty Pride we got for free, so I'm not going to put that in this video. Howard the Duck, Sturgron, and then Snowguard last. All right, so High Evolutionary, Galactus. Talk about Galactus nerf, Thanos, Kang. Then we're going to talk about the rest of the cards. We're not going to talk about Kitty, because if you played the game yesterday, you got Kitty, Jeff, Iron Lad, Howard the Duck, Sturgron, and Snowguard. Then we're going to go to, all right, the Series 4 cards. I feel like the most important Series 4 card, boy, is it Darkhawk or Zabu? Stature. Null. MODOK. And then I just and Nimrod. Shanna. Master Mold. Darkhawk, Zabu, Stature, Null, MODOK, Nimrod, Shanna, Master Mold, and Teenage Warhead. Is there any more? I think that's just the order I'm going to go in. Yeah, Zabu is probably the most important Series 4 card right now. Well, it's got to keep in mind, Corey, that it's only been 2 days, and 1 day has been hot location. So maybe tomorrow you'll get a better sense for it. It's only been, the first day was a free for all, and then today has been free for all because of the location. All right, there were drastic changes in the way that they're going to be releasing cards and dropping them from Series 5 to Series 4. They may have series drops every month, or they may not. They are probably going to hold on to the better cards. But the main thing that we need to know is that going forward, series drops are going to be somewhat unpredictable. And the way that I interpreted their post is that they'll drop cards when they stop selling, but the top sellers are going to stay in Series 5. So there's Big Bads, Series 5, and Series 4. And then also in the future, they're, instead of making all cards come out at Series 5 or Big Bads, they're also going to have cards drop into Series 4. So what are the important cards? And I just want to show, and this is in a specific order, but there are the Series 5 cards, and I just had the Series 4 cards on the screen. So I wanted to start with the Big Bads. The Big Bads currently are Galactus, Kang, and Thanos, and then High Evolutionary is coming to the game in next Tuesday, or next week sometime. So everything in this video is in order on what I think is the most important, and I'm looking at whether or not the card is powerful, but I'm also taking into a large consideration is how flexible is the card and how many decks can it be placed in. The Big Bads, we're going to start off with the Big Bads, and in my opinion, the most interesting of the 4 Big Bads right now is High Evolutionary. Now, keep in mind this is largely unknown. I do not know how important this card is going to be in Marvel Strike Force, but I suspect the card is going to be interesting and good, but I could be completely wrong. So if you want to take a chance and get a Big Bad, and you want to try Evolutionary, it's going to be very interesting. Now, he was nerfed. The stats came out yesterday in the data mine that he's going to be 4/4. What's going to be interesting about him is that he's going to be interacting with these 7 cards. And I imagine that cards like Sunspot and Scorpion will also be important. Largely, the deck is centered around afflicting negative power on your opponents and not spending one energy. And that is how this deck works. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be an interesting deck. But in my opinion, the most important big bad out of the 4 that we have currently right now is High Evolutionary. Next on the list is Galactus. Now, Galactus is a very polarizing card. Needs cards like Null for it to be effective. And there's a very specific build on Galactus. Now, whether or not Galactus is fun or not, or if you should buy Galactus, is completely up to you. But I just want to point out that this card is 1000% on their radar. And you could buy Galactus, and then they are going to nerf a card around it. Now, this was posted, I believe, yesterday by Glenn, and he was asking they were asking if Galactus being changing. And he's on their radar for a nerf, but they almost made it sound like they didn't know how to nerf Galactus. And so, in the same way that they nerfed Rock Slide, specifically to nerf Darkhawk. Like they wanted to nerf Darkhawk, but they didn't know how, so they nerfed Rock Slide, because Rock Slide is largely only played in Darkhawk decks. Now, the one card that I see as could be a card that they may target to negatively impact Galactus is going to be a card like Spider-Man or Doc Ock. Now, Doc Ock specifically is largely only played in Galactus decks. If they do decide to pull the trigger and target the Galactus decks and nerf a Galactus deck, I suspect it's going to be a card surrounding Galactus like Doc Ock. And the reason why I think that they're going to do Doc Ock is because Doc Ock strips all of the possible counters that could interfere with Galactus going off. I did a video about Galactus. And I pointed out that there was at least 22 cards that had some way of interfering with Galactus going off. Well, the problem with that idea is that they play Doc Ock the turn before, and it pulls all the counters out of your hand. So maybe that's going to happen. So if you're in the market for a big bag and you want to spend 6,000 collection tokens, and Galactus is the one that you're choosing, keep in mind, there may be some changes to this card in the immediate future based on the way that they view this card. The next card on the list is Thanos, and I very much like Thanos, and I feel like Thanos is in a weird place. Thanos was at the top of the meta, and they've done things to bring him in alignment. He's still a very powerful card. The problem with Thanos, the way I see it, is the prevalence of Darkhawk. Darkhawk is like the natural enemy of a Thanos deck because there's extra cards inside of a Thanos deck, which gives extra power to Darkhawk. So I don't think that there is a large reason right now to be playing Thanos. There are a couple Thanos decks that are okay. There is a junk build. There is an ongoing build. But largely, I'm not personally playing a lot of Thanos just because of Darkhawk and the prevalence of Darkhawk, and I am not too excited about that. And then lastly, out of the big bads is Kang. Kang has just been a big dud for me. And yesterday in their release, when they talked about cards that they're going to be dropping and the importance of Thanos and Galactus and why they stay at the rate, it was very obvious that they omitted Kang from a key sentence in that message on the Discord server. I wouldn't be surprised if Kang gets a modification or is removed as a big bad and just goes into Series 5 and Series 4. I feel like I thought Kang was going to be amazing, and he has just turned out to be a dud, in my opinion, and I would not recommend spending 6,000 tokens on him. Now we're going to go to the rest of the other Series 5 cards that are currently selling for 6,000, and without a doubt, my personal favorite is Jeff, the baby land shark. This card is very powerful and can be used in many, many, many decks. I don't think it's a stretch to say that Jeff is one of the best 2-drops in the game, if not second or first best 2-drop in the game. Being able to play Jeff into a location and to be able to place Jeff or move Jeff on the last turn is a very powerful mechanic. Like if we look at the popular stature Black Bolt decks and we look at the cube rate and the win rate on those decks with and without Jeff, just simply changing out like Jeff for Nightcrawler or Jeff for Cloak, the cube rate goes up from, let's say, 0.3, 0.4 to 0.4 to 0.5. Like it goes up a lot. Like having like a 25 to 30% higher cube rate just by the addition of Jeff. So Jeff, as far as just straight Series 5 cards, is my personal favorite. I did purchase Jeff for 6,000 tokens. Now, the other card that I purchased for 6,000 tokens is Iron Lad. And I do like Iron Lad a lot, and I am currently running Iron Lad in a stature Black Bolt deck. And sometimes I swap in Doom depending on the featured locations and things like that, and he is very effective. Now, the reason why Iron Lad is good is that he is a 4/6. So for 4 cost, 6 power, he has reasonable stats. So even if you don't get anything great, and sometimes you pull Doom and Doom goes off and you get the bots in each location, he's a good card just because of his stats. I do like Jeff more than Iron Lad, but I definitely see the value of Iron Lad, and he has definitely helped me win games. It is very random, though, what he does, and that often leads to games not making it to the end, meaning you drop Iron Lad. Often when you have Zabu in the field and you drop Iron Lad on turn 3, something happens that is fantastic. One of my favorite things for Iron Lad to target is Jeff, the land shark, and then you can move around that card to wherever you want. Fantastic. But often people retreat before the snap, retreat before it goes to turn 6. Now, the next card is Howard the Duck. I did not buy Howard the Duck. I am interested in playing a deck. Notably, the deck that I'm the most interested in trying with Howard the Duck. Now, I did not buy Howard the Duck. My opinion can be changed on this, but there is a deck that I'm currently watching and wanting to play, and it is a Stature Black Bolt Darkhawk Rockslide deck that runs Doom, runs Iron Lad, runs Jeff, runs Jubilee, and it has Howard the Duck. So having Jubilee and Iron Lad in that type of deck with Howard the Duck seems to be impactful. Is it worth the 6,000 tokens? Well, I don't know. I mean, it feels like a luxury card to me, and I'm not willing to buy it. And also, keep in mind, this deck that I'm talking about, that I'm interested in playing, already has Iron Lad and Jeff. He's just a lower priority. Stegron, I did not purchase. I have definitely lost games to Stegron, and there is value. The way that I view him is that he is a fancier, different version, but a fancier version than Juggernaut. I think he's a flexible card to be played in a lot of decks, and he's definitely won matches for my opponents, and I've definitely lost to this card. I just don't see him being super impactful overall in a place where I would be willing to spend the 6,000 collector tokens. I don't know if I said 5,000 collector tokens earlier, but the Series 5 cards cost 6,000 collector tokens. Maybe I'll consider buying him when he drops to Series 4 and for 3,000 collector tokens. And then last on the list is Snowguard. I actually pulled Snowguard for free out of a collector's reserve, and this card is so situational, borderline useless. The number of locations that Snowguard could affect is so incredibly situational. I don't know. This is not a good card. And if it changes between the two, so you can't even like easily plan around it. I don't even play this card, and I got this card for free. All right, we're going to go now to the Series 4 cards. It was somewhat controversial yesterday when they did not drop Darkhawk and Null from Series 4 down to Series 3. They said that they are too impactful of cards and they are going to hold on to them. So this is in an order. And again, this is my opinion. I think the most important card in Series 4 right now is Zabu. Not only is he a powerful card that many decks need to be effective, this guy is a very important card. What's interesting is this card was nerfed pretty drastically, and Zabu is still amazing. Like I don't even know how I would play Marvel Snap without Zabu. There's so many decks that Zabu is played in, and card cost reduction, 4 costs costing what's left. This is the engine, the backbone of too many decks to cite. But this guy sees the most amount of play. Now, this was a Battle Pass card, so a lot of people that bought the Battle Pass don't have to worry about it. I think a lot of players already have Zabu. Next on the list is, without a doubt, Darkhawk, rather. Darkhawk needs to be played in conjunction with Rockslide and is typically also played with Korg and or Black Widow. This guy is a stat beast. This card gets used everywhere. Even bounce decks will run Korg and not Rockslide, and because they're able to play Korg multiple times through Beast, Darkhawk gets included. So this is just a staple card, and apparently they're not dropping him. And I think that Darkhawk is a very important. The caveat is you do need Rockslide. Rockslide is important for Darkhawk to do, but I've played Darkhawk so many different places. He has been nerfed. Rockslide's been nerfed. Still a very powerful card. Stature. I know a lot of people say that they don't get it, but the best deck in the game right now is a Black Bolt, Stature, Darkhawk, and Rockslide deck. And then there's some other cards that go with it. But this deck is everywhere, and it is by far the most powerful deck in the game. It also runs Zabu, for that matter. Now, the changes to Wave do affect Stature. And that was one of the advantages, I think, of the deck, is that, there were, when you play against, let's say the old Death Wave or the old, just wave decks in general, the one that's with She-Hulk, they didn't care. Stature didn't care. But having the ability to play Black Bolt on turn 5 and have an 8-power card with a nice effect that doesn't have to worry about Shang-Chi and doesn't have to worry about Enchantress, right? It's very powerful. And then immediately preceding on turn 6, you're able to play Stature for 1 cost alongside something else. I mean, typically on turn 6 on this deck, you've already got Zabu on the board and you're playing Darkhawk for a lot of power, Stature for 7 power, and maybe Jeff somewhere, right? And it's very powerful. The deck has a much higher cube rate and win rate than all other decks. Most of the decks that are viable right now have similar cube weights and win rates, and there's a lot of them. But the Stature, Black Bolt, Darkhawk decks are a notch above. And so if you have the rest of the cards and you want to play this deck, Stature is definitely worth it. Next on the list is Null. If you want to play Galactus, you have to have Null. Now, there is a Venom deck out there that runs Null and that does not run Galactus, but largely Null and Galactus go hand in hand. And so if you're purchasing Null, it's because you want your Galactus deck it's just the best card in a Galactus deck to play on turn 6, because everything is exploded from Galactus and it's an immense amount of power. Next on the list is MODOK. A lot of people already have MODOK because MODOK is a season pass card. There is still some viability to discard decks. They have become more important and more relevant with all the nerfs and the Shuri nerfs and so on have brought the total output of power of competitive decks down to where MODOK is effective. I also feel that Nebula was a good addition to the MODOK deck that I like to play, which is a Storm deck. And typically the MODOK decks like Storm because they're playing either Morbius or Nebula or Dracula into the Storm lane. Then they're exploding everything on turn 5 with MODOK, and then having Swarms in your hand, and then drawing into Chavez, and then the Apocalypse is just ramping up in power. It's a very good deck. I do recommend it, but I don't know if I would buy it. I don't know if I'd buy it. I think I just want to acknowledge the people that bought the Battle Pass and have MODOK, that MODOK is an important card. Same category with Nimrod. I don't know if I would buy this deck. Actually, I think MODOK, the rest of these cards I'm going to talk about, I'm kind of lukewarm towards, and I'm sure that there are situations where they're good. It's just I've played Nimrod, and I know that there's a turn 6 Galactus deck that is viable, but Nimrod just kind of feels like a dud to me. Like he's just a variation of Black Panther in a lot of ways, and I think there's other things that Black Panther does that's a little bit better, but I'm not like a super big fan of Nimrod. I think he was a good example of a reasonable Battle Pass card. So but I don't know if I would spend collector tokens on it. Shanna, I've not played this card. I don't think I've ever lost this card. I know that there is some viability around this card, but I'm not super interested in Shanna. I've not played her. I'm not going to speak to it, but I'm not willing to pull the trigger. I'm sitting on a lot of collector reserves. If I thought Shanna was something that I wanted to play and that she was viable, I would open all my collector's reserve. I'm sitting on over 30 of them right now, but it doesn't even excite me at all to do that. Also, Master Mold. There's really nothing wrong with Master Mold and Ronin. I think the problem, and maybe Crystal will make Master Mold more viable, and then there's also Maximus, and that too remains to be seen. I think the issue with Master Mold, and the reason why I'm not a big fan of Master Mold, and I did purchase Master Mold, and I just don't think he's that. I don't think the Master Mold package, which is not just Master Mold, I'm talking about the whole package, which includes Ronin, right? At the end of the day, the reality is simple. Devil Dino is just better than Ronin. It's easier to control the number of cards in my hand than the amount of cards in my opponent's hand. And so Master Mold goes with Ronin, and at the end of the day, Devil Dino is just better than Ronin. It's just that simple. So I'm not really sprung on Master Mold. And then Teenage Warhead Negasonic may become a more important card. She does not see a lot of use today. Any of these cards that require her to be played and then your opponent can react to them is not the best. I more prefer the types of cards that surprise and change the board on turn 6. And just to keep it simple, Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi on turn 6 blows up a lot of things on your opponent's side, and that is good. This does not have the same amount of utility and usefulness to that of Shang-Chi. I don't think that she's a super terrible card, but I got to tell you, I did purchase her when she came out, and I've largely not used her. All right, well, let me know what you think in the comment section if you agree with my opinions on these cards. Like I said, largely this is my opinion. Also, I just want to point out, I'm super hyped for a lot of the cards that are coming out in the next couple of months, and specifically, I can't wait to try out High Evolution. Let me know what you think in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming. Bye for now. Woof. All right. I'm going to end the stream there and upload my video and all of that Negasonic and Doc Ock and all is a nasty swing. Yeah. I just haven't seen it. I haven't seen it if like, I just not. Someone that owns Negasonic. All right. Bye for now. See you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. About stature today went from 68 to 82 in 2 hours. Yeah, stature is great. Stature is great. Bye for now.